Hi, I'm Darius, and today we're going to be watching a Jubilee video. The question is, do all black men think the same? My answer is obviously no, but let's see what they have to say.
Black men that date white women, there's something different, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you know what it is. Like, oh, okay, Childish Gambino, I can see that. Jordan Peele, okay, I can see that.
Wait a minute. I mean, I can see that. All right, let's see. Do all black men think the same?
I am expected to have a big dick.
All right, so I'm gonna pause this and I'm gonna actually say slightly agree.
3, 2, 1, go.
Yup, I mean, nobody disagreed.
Yo,
hey,
like it's a stereotype.
I literally said no in the first question they get me. Oh boy.
You know that stereotypes aren't realistic, but I mean, personal encounters, I don't feel like there's leeway. I feel like, okay, that one we're keeping. Like, that's what the general notion is.
I think it gets into the issue of
negative
stereotypes and how people need to realize that there is no such thing, because what you do is you put people into a box where they're expected to live up to a standard. And I feel like it's over-sexualizing black men, you know? You should want to date someone more for the pleasure physically that they can bring to you. And I know I've talked to people personally who will be like, oh, you're lucky you're black, you have a big member. And I'm like, well, I have other things to offer too. Like, I'm well-spoken, I have a good sense of humor, I'm well-traveled. Like, you go straight to like what's underneath my zipper.
Yeah, I mean, that's been my experience a lot of times, especially, you know, meeting different people, that's the expectation. And I just tell them, 2-inch Punisher, you know? Don't expect too much. I'm just joking, but it's I think a lot of people watch a lot of porn too, and that's where it comes from. Like, when you watch a lot of porn, you see, you know, these mandingos and, you know, 10-inch monsters, and they expect that to be reality, and a lot of times it's not, but that's the expectation that they have. So
Wild.
Our audience submit hot takes about this group specifically, and they are hot. So, black men cheat.
Black men cheat on their significant others far more than any other races. Nah.
On their significant others far more than other races.
I'm just like, where's this study?
Oh no! Why did we do this again? Do all black men think the same? That's 2 for 2 now. Shit.
Published. Did someone do some research where they calculated numbers over a given period of time?
The reason why I was going to be neutral is because I don't know the numbers. Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, I disagree.
Yeah. So I came this way because of the keyword far more. I was like, do black men cheat? In generally, like, you're not apt to not cheat because of the color of your skin.
To prescribe this to race feels nefarious in a way that I feel like it was coming from a place of somebody that got cheated on by a black man. Like, it was like,
right, whoever asked that question, yeah, whoever asked that question, yeah.
Black men are attracted to big butts.
Agree. Not even slightly agree. Not even somewhat strongly agree. Definitely strongly agree on that one.
Is it, do we agree with that statement, or do I personally?
I mean, there's nothing biologically innate to like black men to, you know, to like ass.
I think it ties into hip hop and the whole strip club scene right now. We are so far gone from like the natural aesthetics of just a natural person that right now it's all about who has the baddest ass. Who ass is 25 pounds with 2-pound legs. You know what I mean? Like, that's hot for some reason. And I personally don't get it. I mean, it looks unnatural to me, like, you know, but I mean, a nice ass is just a nice ass though.
Hey, yo, we're gonna come back after this ad because I don't want to watch this. We're back. Hold on.
Bro, black people are funny, and if you ever try and roast one of them, they will roast your ass so hard that you'll have no roast to rebuttal.
I'm gonna have to disagree on this one. I've definitely met some people that just can't roast at all. They're just not that good. I'm gonna have to disagree on this one. I'll say slightly or somewhat disagree. So let's see.
How do I digest that?
I get what he's saying. I think black people as a collective are funny.
If you go to black Twitter, if you go to black Instagram, black Facebook, like you're going to laugh.
So I think that in that aspect, that's why like that statement has so much truth in it, because you just, it's like.
So I guess it's like the question is like, black people as a whole, are they funny? Or is like any black person gonna knock your ass off because he's super funny? Like, I think.
Yeah, that was kind of where I was getting at. I thought they were saying like, are you talking every single black person you're gonna encounter? Is each one going to be funny? No, that's where I disagree. Now, are black people funny as a whole? Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
I think that's just the difference. Black people as a whole, like, yeah, they got jokes, you know, it goes back and forth, cool.
That's why I said as a
But
collective.
don't think that any black person you go to expect like a really good joke, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
N-word should stop being used by all races.
I'm gonna have to disagree because my Latinos, I don't mind if they use it. I don't see anything other than that. Nah.
3, 2,
Let's see what they
1,
say.
go.
It's hard. I just think the N-word, when you look at the root of the word, even slaves would use it to describe other black people when accepting their supposed oppression. So I just think, when I think about that, I don't think you can do anything to erase the history and the blood that's been shed on that word. There are so many people who the last thing they heard was the N-word as they were being murdered. So when I think about that,
Sheesh.
yes, I think the word should stop being used.
That's a very dark, man. If that's what you think every time that word's being said, you should not listen to hip hop, my friend.
Personally, me, I feel like it kind of starts with us. The fact that we make it so cool within music and within like entertainment.
Exactly.
That it lets other people feel like they have a pass, or that it's okay because my favorite rapper said it, or I heard it here, or you guys say it all the time, how come I can't say it? But at the end of the day, it's black culture pain, and if anyone's going to be using it, it should only be us, and that's it.
You can't really own a word.
I mean, I gave my opinion already, but when it comes down to it, I could see where he is going with that. That makes sense. Because it should just stay within the culture. That's what makes it its culture. If everyone tries to copy the culture and make it their own and starts taking words, then it loses our uniqueness. Unique to us because we could say it, I guess. But, I mean, there's more than that, though. But it's part. Because it's just like, yeah, this is part of the music. This is how we can express ourselves. And I mean, it's a word that doesn't really mean too much for someone like me to say to another black person, I guess. Even if I don't know them, it wouldn't be offensive. But yeah, I could see where that word can get out of hand really quick if used the wrong way, or yeah, like with other races. Yeah, let's see.
I think, you know, we can own it in the sense where it's a black cultural thing, but the idea where we kind of make it out to where we say like, oh, other people can't say it. I think that's more of like a insecurity within the black culture of not being able to hold power, because historically, it's like, right, historically, black people didn't have as much power, so we're trying to hold on to literally a word that only has meaning because we add meaning to it.
I mean, respectfully, I ain't trying to hear that, right? Like, I feel like the only...
I like this guy right here with the Pizza Planet shirt. This is great. He said, I don't want to hear that.
The only reason it's policed so much, and I feel like the only reason we even have like this debate or this debacle over whether we can use it or not, is because we're black people. And I'm not one of those people that think everything is racist and all that, but in this specific instance, right? In several instances, women in many instances have reclaimed the word bitch to be a term of endearment. There are In the 90s, there was heavier women, reclaimed the word fat, obviously respelling and things like that. But I feel like in those instances, nobody bats an eye. Why is that understood? But with this, it's so confusing. Like, I don't know if like, you know when there are boundaries set. And that word is one of the boundaries that I think we have respectfully and rightfully set up for ourselves. So I don't want to, I'm not trying to hear the like, if we use it, why can't it? We do that all the time with a bunch of different things. And I don't think this should be one of the areas where we're like, yeah, let everybody see. Nah, I'm not.
Well, I think it goes back to where you're saying boundaries. Because when you break down to inner communities where, you know, blacks and Asians, blacks and whites in hip hop culture, where there's like, it's 5 group of friends and their black friends don't care. They're like, say it. Like that.
Low key, there's a couple Asians I know that if they said the N-word,
that happens. So it's like, we're having this broad conversation. And you know, I know all of us aren't trying to be the spokespeople for black people, right? But it's like, it's such a convoluted, I guess, topic where it's like the expectations aren't clear to people depending where you are. If you're on the East Coast, West Coast, like it's very unclear. That's what I think. I'm not arguing whether or not it's okay to say it or whether white people should say it. I'm just saying, if we don't want white people to say it, I think it needs to be very clear. And I think even in fact, in this new age of our culture, I think we're seeing more people saying we don't want white people to say it.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is that we don't want white people to say it. But like I said, there's a couple groups out there where if they said it, it wouldn't be too bad. So that's where I can agree with Pizza Planet Guy here, where it's like, there's a couple groups. Now, of course, are we gonna let other groups come out here and say it disrespectfully to us? Hell no. Asians, please don't. Please don't. Blacks, that's not even an argument. Asians, no. Whites, no. Anything else, no. Latinos, yes. But you gotta really mean it. You gotta actually have it in your heart. You gotta actually be part of, I don't want to say the neighborhood, but part of, like, I guess culture. Just say culture. Whatever. Let's see.
Homophobia is a big issue in the black community.
Homophobia is a big issue in the black community. Let's go through this ad and then I'm gonna think about this and I'll give my answer.
People to say it.
All right.
Homophobia is a big issue in the black community.
Homophobia is a big issue in the black community. It just depends on where you are. I feel like if you're down maybe in the southern states, probably, because it's just kind of more frowned upon. I'm in the Midwest, so no. Or I guess north. I call it north. I don't know why we call it Midwest. It doesn't really make sense. But the north, and I wouldn't say that that's really an issue out here. But I could definitely see some areas in the East Coast that could be maybe an issue. I don't know. But I don't know. It just depends on where you are. But in terms of overall, homophobia is a big issue in the black community. If you're talking like culture and you're talking like the music, then yes, because they use the word to mean it in an offensive way sometimes. But if you're talking movies or TV shows, as of lately, no, because they have been putting characters, and that's why I don't know who's putting these things together. But it doesn't seem like it's too big of an issue on that end, though. Like, I don't really see people boycotting movies if they see gay black characters, you know what I'm saying? But in terms of music, Lil Nas X or whatever, he's kind of breaking boundaries or whatever, and so there's other rappers I think now too. I don't want to say he's gay, but he's just coming out as something different. I don't remember what the interview was that he was saying by Isaiah Rashad. He was saying something about just being open to people, or something like that. I don't know. Uzi has they, them as his pronouns. I mean, I think now music is starting to embrace it, but I think overall, I'm gonna say no.
3,
Disagree.
2, 1, go.
Whoa.
A lot of us black men, we will rather.
Okay, so here's the thing. I wanted to say no. Very interesting that they said that. And here's the thing. I know I look kind of scruffy right now, but I live like downtown area of where I am currently, and I've been asked several times, am I like homosexual? Because I dress well, and I mean, you can't tell, but you know, rock a little jewelry, and I'd actually be shaved up and things like that, and people would ask me, and I didn't ever take offense to it. But like I said, here where I live, no. Maybe other places, yes. It's interesting that everyone's saying agree here though, so let's see their reasons.
Be friends with the homie that, you know, probably has rape attached to his name than the homie that's part of the LGBTQ plus community. And I think that that's something that, you know, we gotta work on as people, because my thing is, I don't understand the whole big phobia of, okay, what he decides to do in his free time or behind closed doors, why does that bother you so much? Why does that affect you? Like, why do you feel like it's such like the scum of the earth?
And I also think it comes from religion, because I don't want to get too.
Yeah, I've seen that as well too. People like that are shunned in church. People like that. People who want to express, you know, different than heterosexual, they get shunned for, you know, doing what it is that they want to do.
Controversial with that, but people are very religious.
But the thing is that like, could you still be religious when the religion says don't do that? So that, I don't know, let's see.
Religion, because I don't want to get too controversial with that, but people are very religious, especially in the black community, you know, Christians, and you know, when you talk about the Bible, you know, they say, you know, homosexuality is a sin. So a lot of people have that ingrained in their mind, this is absolutely not right. And for a lot of people too, when they see a man, they want to see a manly man, and they associate that with being straight.
Heterosexual men have a fear that homosexual men will treat them how they treat women, if that makes sense. And so,
whoa, say that one more time, sir.
And they associate that with being straight.
Heterosexual men have a fear that homosexual men will treat them how they treat women, if that makes sense.
Treat them how they treat women. Okay. If that makes sense, let's see where you're going with this.
And so they're afraid of that treatment. And I'm on somewhat agree, because I'm rather torn. I think I've lived a life where I'm around very open-minded, inclusive people. So I'm not sure how big of an issue it is in the community, but I know that in the black church sphere, homosexuality is often made out to be the worst thing that you can be.
That's where I was, that's why it's a teeter-totter. It's a teeter-totter on this. It really does depend on where you're at. If you're, all these points that they're saying, they're on the same spectrum that I feel like I was on, but they actually stepped to agree. But it shouldn't be an issue. Well, I guess it still is. I guess if you really do look at it, it is still an issue. So, let's see.
There's almost nothing worse than being gay, and I think that's also where some of the homophobia comes from. We like to ignore all the other sins, all the other things that the Bible outlines that are not, you know, holy.
Right. Facts. Right. He's facts.
And then we just take homosexuality and we make it the worst. You know, granted, the Bible says it's an abomination, I get that, but the Bible says any sin will send you to hell, so.
You can't be pro-black and date a white person.
This is a lie. You can't be a pro-black and date the white person. I'm going to have to strongly disagree. Strongly disagree. Who you date has nothing to do with how you influence a culture. I mean, take example, someone like Dave Chappelle. You can't sit there and say he's not pro-black. Come on now. Come on now. Come on. Really? Come on.
3, 2, 1, go.
I want to hear the strongly agree guys point. Cause yeah, that's what I'm saying. Strongly disagree. You can't be pro-black and date a white person. And he's saying strongly agree. In some places, yes. I will say that if you went back probably to some countries where, yeah, that's really strict, I can see that being a very true thing. But here in America, disagree.
I think really the issue with this statement is, for me, if you are a stand-up person and you stand up on your morals and your character, it doesn't matter who you date. And I think a lot of the issue is a lot of people get into, interracial relationships, or they date white people and they forget who they are. And if you are pro-black, it doesn't matter if you're dating a black person, a white person, because you can date a white woman and a black woman and still not even be for the cause. So I really think it's up to the person if they stand on their morals or not.
I agree to a certain extent, but personally me, I feel like if you're pro-black, you're pro-black for everything. Like, you're for the advancement of the race, you're for businesses, you're for everything black. So it's kind of hard for me to understand how someone can be pro-black and want so much for, the black culture and the black race, and then they're in a relationship with someone that doesn't represent that,
So are you saying that if you are black and you're pro-black, you cannot act on attraction to someone from another race?
Personally, I'm not pro-black, but in my mindset, like, I'm saying if you're pro-black, you wouldn't find someone that's not black attractive to me. Not saying attractive, but you wouldn't even want to cross that line and even engage in a relationship with them. You can have like lust, like, hey, she's an attractive white woman, but ideally you want black kids, you want black family, you want your lineage to carry on.
I don't know, I feel like
I get what he's saying on that, but still don't mean that you do that because you're pro-black though. But
the question in itself kind of like low-key negates the demographics of the country. I mean, black folks make up 13% of the country, roughly, and a lot of the time we live in concentrations. So, you know what I'm saying? If you in Iowa, it's gonna be a little tough to find you like a black woman, especially somebody that might identify as pro-black with you. So I think it depends on what you do, not who you decide to be with.
My first response to that is like, what's the point of looking at people differently? It's like we get upset that people do it to us in generally, like looking at black people and judging them and stereotyping them and making assumptions about them. It's like, so on the flip side, why should we be doing that to other people regardless of who, they're in a relationship, depending on the color of their skin?
I'm not gonna lie, I do. Like, I look at people differently based on who they marry. Because dating, you could be dating for fun. I feel like,
yeah, that is true. And the thing is, it's not even race sometimes, it's really just morals, standards, and how they live life. And sometimes the culture of where they came from can come into that and build into the relationship. But other than that, though, I don't know what he means by judge. Is that what he said? Did he say judge?
On the color of their skin.
I'm not gonna lie, I do. Like, I look at people differently based on who they marry. Because dating, you could be dating for fun. I feel like I look at people different based on who they marry. Like Jordan Peele, Childish Gambino, I feel like I can look at them and be like, I'm not looking down on them. I don't think of them negatively, but I'm like, oh, I see. And like, oh, okay, I see. Like, because like black men that date white women, there's something different, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you know what it is. Like oh, okay, Childish Gambino, I can see that. Jordan Peele, okay, I can see that. I can't think of another example, but I feel like I can tell, like, okay, like, that's cool, you know, I'm happy, you happy. It's no disrespect to them, but I see the difference.
I prefer a light-skinned partner to a dark-skinned partner.
All right, I'm not gonna lie. I think I've gone too far with this one. I'm kind of done with this one. But if I was to pick on this last one, I prefer a light-skinned partner to a dark-skinned partner. Well, I'm not gonna answer the question. I'm just not. So, thanks for joining me on this one. I'm gonna make some more of these. So come back to the next one. Peace out.